Sources tell CBS News senior military officials have presented President Trump with options for potential military operations inside Venezuela, including potential strikes on land. This would be an escalation from the current campaign against alleged drug boats. Officials say the U.S. launched its 20th strike on Monday, killing 4 people. CBS News Pentagon reporter Eleanor has more.
CBS reported earlier this week that there was a meeting at the White House where Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, the top U.S. military officer, General Dan Kane, presented President Trump with options on Venezuela, including potentially striking on land. That would be a shift. So far, the U.S. military has targeted speedboats in the Caribbean and in the Eastern Pacific, allegedly carrying drugs, in an operation that Secretary Hegseth named yesterday, Operation Southern Spear. That meeting about options going forward comes as the world's largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, and its escort ships are headed to join a growing armada already off of Venezuela. The Ford and its ships bring not only fighter aircraft, but also Tomahawk missiles with the range to strike inside Venezuela. If the president decides to go with that option, that would be a major escalation, making good on his threats that land strikes could be next. When the Ford joins the other ships in the Caribbean, it'll add to the total U.S. forces on Puerto Rico, in the Caribbean, as well as Marine F-35s in Puerto Rico. There will be about 15,000 U.S. forces there, the largest U.S. military buildup since the Cold War.
Ellie Watson, thank you. CBS News Executive Director of Politics Finn Gómez is in Washington now with more. So, Finn, what more do we know about the White House's thinking about this?
Yeah, this is all about pressure, Lindsay, by the Trump administration, is spearheaded, of course, by President Trump and Secretary of State Rubio and other administration stakeholders that have long been calling for increased action against an authoritarian regime they hold responsible for not only destroying a once formidable South American country and ally into one they say adamantly has been one of the world's largest narco traffickers, working with cartels to flood the U.S. with fentanyl-laced cocaine and other drugs. If you recall, back in August, Attorney General Pam Bondi announced a $50 million reward for the arrest of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and said the Justice Department had seized more than $700 million in assets linked to Maduro, including private jets, and also said that 7 million tons of seized cocaine have been traced directly to him. And now with this increased military presence and strategic attacks on these alleged drug boats, sources close to the White House say it is kicking up to a new level, Lindsay. One senior source close to the Trump administration said, quote, "It's not a good time to be Nicolas Maduro." No, Lindsay?
The Trump administration has also signed off on an arms sales deal to Taiwan. What does that look like, and what is the significance?
Yeah, the Trump administration has approved a $330 million sale of fighter jets and aircraft parts to Taiwan, the first such package under President Trump's second term. The Pentagon says the deal will help Taiwan keep its F-16s, C-130s, and other military aircraft ready to respond to, quote, current and future threats, according to Reuters. Taiwan thanked Washington, saying the move strengthens Taiwan's self-defense and deepens what it calls a critical U.S.-Taiwan security partnership in the Indo-Pacific region. Taiwan's defense ministry says the parts will boost fighter readiness and help counter China's growing, quote, gray zone military pressure around the island nation. Beijing, as expected, Lindsay, reacted sharply. Chinese foreign ministry said the arms deal, quote, gravely infringes on Chinese sovereignty and interests, and again warned Washington not to interfere. China, as you know, considers Taiwan its territory under its one China principle and said that it would take all necessary measures in response to Washington. As you know, Washington has formal diplomatic ties with Beijing, but maintains unofficial ties with Taiwan and is the island's most important arms supplier. The United States is bound by law to provide Taiwan with the means to defend itself. But if you recall, this comes as President Trump said Chinese President Xi Jinping had assured him during their last meeting in South Korea that China will not take any action towards unifying Taiwan with the mainland while Trump is in office. In an interview with Norah O'Donnell for 60 Minutes, Trump said Xi and his team have openly stated they would, quote, never do anything on Taiwan during his presidency because, quote, they know the consequences. Lindsay.
Finn Gómez, thank you.